Guys, so I'm back again, and like I said in my last video on my return, that I am going to be sharing a lot with you about what's been going on the past 5 years. So I don't even know which way to begin because a lot has happened, but I guess what I could tell you is why I'm here back in Morton in my grandmother's house. That's probably the best way to start, so that every time you see a new background, because I'm not always going to be doing this in the kitchen dining room area, you'll know. I'll tell you which room I'm in, whether it be here, my bedroom, or the office downstairs where my cat is right now, or I don't know, maybe even my truck. I don't know. We'll have to figure things out here. So this is what happened. As you know, I've been living in Bloomfield for 2004, 14 years, roughly, give or take. So it's a long story, and I don't even know how to begin it. Okay, so the house we lived in was a two-family house. It was an upstairs, downstairs. We lived on the top floor, and people lived downstairs. Thing was, it was Michael's cousin's house. He owned the house, and he had lived downstairs for a while with his brothers and another roommate, which was, okay, all fine and well. But there came a time that Michael's cousin got married. He wanted to have his family, and his wife was in Ecuador, so he went back to Ecuador, which was okay, still fine. His two brothers were here. Surely they were taking care of the bills and the mortgage and this and that. So over the next few years, it trickled down that the other two brothers also left because they wanted to go back to Ecuador, which, was fine and well. But in the meantime, where are the mortgage payments? Because I hadn't been paying rent because my roof and my ceiling were falling apart. And for 4 years out of the 14 years, I would say 2010, 2011, we lost heat. And it wasn't fixed for 4 years. So we froze like for 4 years. And there was one time that, the cousin came home and finally fixed the heat, which was perfect. It was great. I had heat. But still, everybody's gone, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so what's going on with the house? What's going on with the mortgage? So when the last brother left, I took over all the bills. I took over the electric, I took over the gas, I took over the water, I took over, I had already been paying the internet. I took over the TV. Well, actually, we had been paying the TV too, because that was part of our agreement when we moved in to Bloomfield, however long ago. So it was a hard time. So 2000, what year is this? 2018, July. I'll tell you why, because this happened a week before my boys were supposed to come up from North Carolina to stay with me for a week. I used to bring them up for a week, and we used to do fun things, amusement parks, come to grandma's, I'd let them go to their other grandparents' house, whatever. So one day I'm getting my room cleaned up, and hold on, I gotta leave Janie a message. Let's let her know I'm recording. So one day I'm going through all my junk mail. I'm trying to get my rooms cleaned up because there's 3 boys, as you know. There's Ethan, Dylan, and Colton. So I'm going through all my mail that, basically all my junk mail that I go through. And what I did at the time was all my junk mail I would just put in a big pile. And once a month or once every other month, I would go through all the junk mail, take all the pages that had my name or information on it, put it in a pile to be shredded, and all the envelopes and extra papers that didn't have my name on it would be thrown out to recycling. Ooh. So I'm going through everything, and I come across this letter that's got a real estate agency on it. Okay, fine. So I tear it open. I'm thinking, oh, it's just an ad. They want to buy the house, or they're offering their services if we ever want to sell the house, or whatever. So it was a letter from a representative of the real estate agency that the house was foreclosed on, and that I need to get in contact with them right away to figure out what our next move is. So this was the first or second week of July, and this letter was sent in the middle of June. So I'm like, oh my god. So naturally, I get on the phone with this guy. His name was Dan. And I explained to him, I said, I'm so sorry. I never called you. I got your letter, but I didn't open it because I just thought it was, one of those letters that are sent out for services or whatnot. So the guy's like, oh no, that's fine, but you're calling now, which is good because now we can figure out what we're doing with this house. I'm like, okay, fine. So the house was foreclosed on in the beginning of June, and they were just sending out letters so that we knew what was going on, that the house was foreclosed on, and that they were going to take over the property. So, all right, fine. So I said, what are my options? He goes, well, you can stay and pay rent until the house is sold, and hopefully work out some of the new owners. You can leave. We can provide you services to leave. I said, well, when is this supposed to happen? Because I got, my nephew's coming up. He goes, oh, don't worry. It's going to be for a couple of months. All right, fine. So it gave us, I'm thinking it's going to give us a couple of months, but by this time I'm already upset. And he hears me getting really upset because it's like, a surprise, nobody's paid the mortgage. And, because I had been asking for years, I asked Michael for years. I said, who's paying the mortgage? How's the mortgage getting paid? Is it getting paid? Because apparently the taxes were getting paid, just not the mortgage. So I had asked Michael for years. I said, what is going on with this house? I even got to the conclusion, I said, I kind of figured out the mortgage wasn't being paid because nobody would answer me. But Michael was trying to give his cousin the benefit of the doubt, so to speak, that the mortgage was getting paid. But I told him, I said, the mortgage's not getting paid, and we're going to get kicked out. You're going to come home one day and everything's going to be on the front lawn, and then what? So Dan was so nice and so informative about what my options were. So I said, all right, fine. I said, well, let's keep each other up to date and we'll figure out what we're going to do, but I have to talk to my husband and see what's going on. So Michael comes home and he saw how upset I was. I was like crying. I was beat red from crying. Mind you, I have asthma, so I could feel the pressure on my lungs with my asthma. I had my inhaler out. He's like, what happened? I told him, I said, your cousin lost the house. I said, I told you this was going to happen. What are we going to do now? So he's like, I don't know. We'll have to figure something out, which, whatever. So I didn't tell anybody for a while. And I was so upset. So my nephews come up, and then I go down to North Carolina, and I have somebody from Bloomfield call me and just pretty much reiterate that we lost the house. So I was just all types of upset. Like, I didn't need to hear that again because I know we lost the house. So over the next few months, we tried saving money, and we tried looking for places. And mind you, at the time I had 2 cats and I had a roommate, so I had to figure out whether he was coming with us or whether he was moving out on his own, or I don't know what his plan was. So I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. And if you live in New Jersey, you know that rent is ridiculous. And we're only living on a 1 paycheck income because I can't work right now. I hadn't been able to work because I had gotten really sick. And then I haven't been able to work because I take care of Grandma, because Grandma's got a lot of health issues and she really can't be driving anymore, so I have to take her everywhere she needs to go. So this went on for a few months. I talked to Dan back and forth a few times, and I said, Has anything come up? He's like, no, but, keep your options open. All right, fine. So finally, the end of December, like maybe a few days before Christmas, I get a letter in the mail that I have to go to court on January 16th, housing court. So I went to housing court and I spoke with the representative of the lawyer that took over the foreclosure. And again, I don't remember her name, and I feel so bad because she was so nice. I finally met Dan face to face, so we worked out. Um, we worked out. I can't think of the word. Wow. Basically, we concluded that we needed to move because we couldn't stay there. The house was falling apart. It was ridiculous. I mean, I had a brand new kitchen ceiling put in a few years before, and I put it in because apparently my roof was fixed, and it really wasn't, because almost as soon as I had the new kitchen ceiling put in, I found a spot from a leaky roof. So it's like FML, can't win. So we went back and forth, and we went on January 16th, so they wanted us out February 16th. I said, well, being that I'm not working and taking care of my grandmother, my husband works nights and my roommate works during the day. I said it'd be hard for us to get things together and moved out and whatnot in a month because we had a lot. And I'm not talking only about the upstairs. I mean, I had a full attic. I had a kitchen, a bedroom, my office. My roommate had his room, and then I had the little throwaway room, I used to call it. I don't remember my former videos. So I said, can we just have March 1st? She's like, yeah, okay, we can do that. We can work with that. I was like, thank you. I was so grateful. So I went home, told Michael, March 1st, we're out. So that night, my grandmother calls me. She goes, what is going on? I know something's going on. You're upset. You were here yesterday, because I had stopped by her house the day before, and I don't remember why. She goes, I know you're upset. You just, something's off with you. She said, what's going on? So I broke it down. I told her, I said, we lost the house, and I have 6 weeks to find a place to live. So I wasn't planning on coming here. I really wasn't. But she's like, you're more than welcome to come. And, stay as long as you need to save up money to get a new place, which, I was so grateful for. I said, well, that's my last resort right now, but I'm still looking for a place because I didn't want to move so far from Michael's job, but, we may not have had a choice anyway. So I had 2 more places to look at, which were in the same town and would have been about the same amount of rent that I was already supposed to be paying, which, whatever. So over the next 6 weeks, I'm still looking at places, I'm packing, I'm doing this and that and the other. And I also get sick. So on top of my asthma, I came down with laryngitis and a really nasty cold the weekend we were supposed to move out. I was not happy. So I had texted Dan. I said, look, I'm really sick, but I'm trying to push through these last few days. I asked him, since the 1st is on a Saturday, would it be okay if I just had an extra day and work through Sunday to make sure everything's cleaned up and, do whatever. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Because he actually told me to call him because he didn't believe it was me. So he's like, oh my God, you really are sick. I'm like, yeah, I don't make that kind of thing up. So it's like, oh my God. So I had to rent a storage unit. Again, throw everything in there. I moved a dresser, my clothes, and 2 cats into this house. I lost a lot. I lost my bed. I lost a dresser, my futon, my TV stand, a desk. A lot of stuff I lost because I couldn't bring it. I couldn't bring it here. It wouldn't fit in storage, and it was so heartbreaking. So that's why I'm back in Morton. That's the story about why I'm back in Morton and why I'm living with Grandma again. The reason why I've been here for almost a year, it'll be a year on March 1st, is because Grandma's got some health issues that have gotten worse, and it's not good for her to be alone. And honestly, the couple of times I've gone to North Carolina and I've called her to check up on her, being alone at night makes her nervous now, so I don't think that leaving is going to be an option at any time soon. So that's what's been going on. That's story number 1. That's why I'm back in Morton. So
Unfortunately, Chef Kayla. Tonight just came down to it was frozen meat that didn't get cooked all the way. That was it. Thank you. I'm going home.
So that's story number 1. Like I said, there's a lot more to tell you. I'm okay right now with being here. I'm not gonna lie, times do get tough around here, and sometimes personalities clash, but we make it through.
But first, we're gonna play a little game, a little grocery hop. Never played this before. This game requires a little luck.
I kind of miss Bloomfield,
You each take a turn
but
walk into the nets.
in a way, I'm kind of glad I'm out of there too.
How many ingredients you get
It's kind of a love-hate relationship with that house. So it's late. I'm gonna get going, so I'm gonna have to edit this video now, and I'll be on in the next few days and I'll let you in on another story and let you know what's going on. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it the night. I will be on in the next few days. I'll have to figure out what my next video is gonna be about. But again, I appreciate you guys sticking out with me, and it's gonna be a long journey. I'll talk to you later. Bye.